comes back, knocks it through. Daniel Carlson, 48 yards. And the Raiders and the Browns are now both 7-7. And oh, by the way, if they end up finishing with the same record, you know who has the tiebreak because, well, the Raiders just beat Cleveland head-to-head. Game was under. Both halves were under. Vegas wins, but Cleveland covers because they were getting 3. Although this spread was all over the place so much, this is the ultimate it's when you got it spread. Because everybody who wagered on this game had a different number. One thing we can all agree on, this was the short pass capital of the world, as well as the home of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Carr and Mullins had 45 completions. One guy had less than 250. The other guy had less than 150 yards. Nick Chubb, who had 6 carries for 14 yards in the first half. We talked about the idea. Would he be able to wear down Vegas? Wear down Vegas. He did that, but then when Cleveland had a chance to get a first down and win the game, they went to him 3 times. Wore him down, but on 3rd down, Vegas stiffened, got the ball back, little drive, and Daniel Carlson wins it. And it's going to be a happy plane ride back to Las Vegas for the Raiders, who find a way on 5 o'clock Eastern on a Monday to win 16-14. All right, welcome to CBS Sports HQ. JJ, other than the fact that obviously the Raiders won a close game, what's the headline or what's your storyline or initial sort of reaction from this game?
I'm impressed by the Cleveland Browns. I guess I didn't have very many high hopes for the Cleveland Browns because, as we talked about in the pregame, this was a Cleveland Browns team that they were missing key players at really every level. They were missing them along the offensive line with Jed Wills. They were missing them, obviously, at wide receiver with Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper at tight end. They were missing them at linebacker, in the defensive backfield. And so I thought the Raiders, well, they're played a little bit better than what their record the last 6 weeks would indicate there at 1-5 since their bye. And I thought the Raiders would come out here into Cleveland. Who cares that it's on the road with basically their full complement of weapons and win the football game and win the football game somewhat handily. Instead, this obviously came down to the last kick. It's a huge, huge credit to the Cleveland Browns organization, to the sort of infrastructure that they have there, to Nick Mullins, who third stringer, who really hadn't gotten any reps with any of the guys he was out there throwing to tonight. The fact that they were able to be there at the end of the game with a chance to win, pretty impressive by the Cleveland Browns.
Was this a well-played game, in your opinion? I mean, it was close. And the first half was sort of humdrum with a 10-0 halftime score. But I'm not sure, like, you know, it's like a movie when you watch it and you go, was that good? I'm not sure yet. Like, you got to think about it on the way home. Was this a well-played game?
I think it was a well-played game, especially by Cleveland, because they played the game that they had to in order to be effective. I thought...
Not sure they had a turnover tonight.
Yeah, right. And you look at the Raiders, and they probably should have been more effective through the air. Derek Carr had 38 attempts for 236 yards. You know, that average is not going to do too hot there in the yards per attempt. And so when I look at what the Cleveland Browns did in terms of coaching, they kept the game in front of them at all times. Really, you say 10-0 at halftime. Chase McLaughlin missed that kick going into half. Could have been 10-3. Could have been a one-possession ball game. I really, really liked ultimately, you know, them getting or going for it on 4th down when they were down 13-7, not deciding to kick that field goal. Initially, I thought, you know what, I would kick. I'd try my defense. They've been able to stop the Raiders and then hope that I can get back in position to kick another field goal and see and try my chances in overtime. They did not. They went for it. They got it. And again, just gave the football back to the Raiders.
All right. What does this win do for Vegas? They are 7-7. Their remaining 3 games. Denver at home, at Indy, Chargers at home. Chargers may be locked in, for example. You never know how it's going to be in that last week. But Denver at home, at Indy, Chargers at home, 7-7. What does this one do for Vegas?
I thought going into tonight that they would have to win out the the Raiders.
I agree.
In order to make the playoffs. I think that you're going to have 10 wins in order to make the playoffs in the AFC if you do not win your division. The Raiders are obviously not going to win their division. And so you look at the Denver Broncos, maybe moving forward with Drew Lock there, with Teddy Bridgewater's injury. Okay, let's call that a win for the Raiders. Now they're at 8 wins. Don't believe that they're going to be beating Indianapolis, a team that will certainly be playing for something, whether it's the AFC South or to keep pace in that wild card race. So I'm going to chalk that up as a loss. And the Chargers, who right now are dealing with COVID situations, and that's always going to be the wild card as we're talking about down the stretch with any of these teams. These final 3 weeks of the season is what's your COVID situation on a given week. Right now the Chargers are faced with it with Austin Eckler and Joey Bosa, among others. But I think that is a win for the Chargers. And so the Raiders would have to win out for me to believe that they would make the AFC playoffs, because you see right there. Yeah, I know the Ravens and the Bengals, the Steelers, they're going to beat up on each other. The Browns are still in it, most certainly. But, of course, the Raiders now have that tiebreaker over them. The Dolphins are making a charge. You think the Chargers are going to win 2 more. You think the Colts are going to win 2 more. You think the Bills are going to win 2 more. That's why I say the Raiders have to win out in order to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think this was more damaging for Cleveland than it helps Vegas, because I don't think Vegas is going to win out, and I think they do have to win out. Cleveland now at 7-7, though, as we talked about. If they win this game, they have the best record in the division, top.
Yep.
They lose this game, they now have the worst record in the division. At Green Bay, at Pittsburgh, home against Cincy. What does this loss do for Cleveland?
And, you know, it's the loss part. And you and I were talking about it as we were watching this game. I thought that this loss would certainly be more damaging to Cleveland than the win would help the Vegas Raiders, as you mentioned, Eric. And for me, it was the decision to run Nick Chubb on 3rd and 3, where I thought, you know what, maybe let's see a play-action boot. Let's try to win this football game with about 2.5 minutes left. Let's not run right into an 8 or 9-man box, get that stop, and then have to punt back where all they have to do is cross the 50 and have that opportunity. I thought that was a poor decision by Pfeiffer, not the decision that I would have made right there. I think that they needed to try to win that football game there. But we see the AFC North standings, and you mentioned the schedule. You know, that Green Bay game is going to be tough, but when you look at their final 2 games against AFC North opponents, hoping that they have their full complement of players, hoping, you know, if there is a sort of silver lining to losing 20 guys and they all being either asymptomatic or having very mild symptoms, is they're not going to be knocked out down the stretch. They got knocked out now.
Sort of. It's like getting the bye week out of the way.
Right, right. And nobody wants to get COVID-19. I'm not making any point other than that, right?
You were very clear on what you're saying.
Right.
No,
and so
it's a reality.
Yeah, because teams are going to be dealing with this in the next 3 weeks, and it's going to pop up everywhere. If this is the time that it popped up for the Cleveland Browns and they played a close game, but they know that for the next 3 weeks at key positions, they're going to be okay, that this isn't going to come up, then I think I like the Cleveland Browns' chances in the final 3 weeks.
The thing that concerns me, okay, there's 2 8-6 teams ahead of them, and they play each other this week. They both can't lose.
You just got to win the division.
So if you're going to have a 9-win team, barring, you know, we're tight, you're going to have a 9-win team at the end of this weekend that you're chasing. And if you end up with 9, that's 2-1. You pretty much are going to have to run the table or hope that whoever wins this week between Cincinnati and Baltimore then loses out their last 2, which is why I think this was more damaging for Cleveland than for Vegas. I mean, if I were sort of setting it right now, I would predict that neither team makes the playoffs.
Probably.
And if Cleveland had won, I think you and I might have thought they could win this division.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
And now, I mean, that's why Cleveland gave you an effort. I totally agree. They gave you an effort.
And they're going to give you an effort all the way down to week 18.
I mean, no coach, 3rd-string quarterback, Myles Garrett on one leg by the end of it. They gave you an effort. They just ended up being 1 play short. And Vegas now still has hope. And as we all know, hope is a good thing. All right, here you go. There's your AFC playoff picture. Chiefs right now are the 1 seed. They're the only 10-win team right now. Patriots, they're going to play the Bills this week. Whoever wins that game, that's largely, they're going to have the inside track to win that division. Titans are going to play the 49ers on Thursday night. That's the first game of the weekend. And then the Bengals and Ravens will play each other. One of those teams, you would think, again, barring a tie, will be a 9-win team as you see everybody else. And the Colts, who are rolling, I mean, they got to go to Arizona right now. And Arizona, you know they're going to want to respond after what happened in Arizona and Detroit. So the Colts are going outside to face the Cardinals. Not easy for anybody the rest of the way.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.